Alright, well here we are at stage 5, last stage of the GTE Le Mans race day event, where I'm racing for the Porsche. It's also choices of the Corvette and the Aston Martin. Here's where homework is important because there's no off-track allowed and also not supposed to get damaged. Now, do you remember what stage 4 was all about? Watch what happens here. Whoop! I'm veering to the left. Why is that? Because my muscle memory was already adapting to being over-tilted to the left. I actually found this hard. Like, look at this. I'm not normally driving that close to the wall. I mean, here I would be, but not at that other point. So it's taking me a little while here. I actually was wondering if there was a steering issue, but there's not. It's just I drove for like whatever, half an hour with my device overly tilted and my muscles got used to it. Anyhow, I'm going to take it a little bit careful here at first. Even there, I was oversteering just a pinch. Still, not a hard stage here. We have more of this same where it's a lot of an empty track. And I don't know. I like racing. I know this is racing. I know there's time trials. I know there's stuff like that. I like traffic. I like getting through traffic. And some racers just are that way. Some people just like the thrill of weaving through traffic, especially when we've got drafting. I love drafting. I love getting pushed. I love getting into a perfect sandwich where I've got a car on my front bumper and a car on my back bumper and we're just locked up going fast. Because that's why I got into this game. I want to drive fast. And learned a lot since then, since my initial endeavors and my initial desires into starting this game. Okay, so I said that at the end of stage 4 video, I said that I tried some things and decided to do it this way. So here's what I mean. As you might have noticed, once you finish an event, when you complete it, you cannot retry it anymore. Apparently there were way too many glitches that were happening. They've removed the retry button. So now, if you want to be able to complete an event a second time, you actually have to fail it. So I thought, well, there's some really long stages here. Great chance to earn driver experience points. All I have to do is get to the end of the really long stage and finish it without doing enough to pass the stage. So for instance, if it said finished 5th, I could make sure that I finish 6th place. And I should still get paid, but I did a little bit of that and I decided, my goodness, I'm not doing this, especially when I saw how long it takes for driver experience points. Oops. I'm surprised I didn't get failed there. I wasn't on the gas when it happened. I saw it happening and I got off the gas. And sometimes you can get away with damage if you do that. Wow, am I ever fortunate. Okay. After you get, by now, if you're this far, you've seen that I'm already at driver level 3, and it takes an incredibly long time to get to the next level. There was no way I was going to waste that much time failing stages. It's just no way at all that I'll waste all that time. Hyperdrive 16 times regular speed. So I really just didn't have much of a choice but to just throw away a whole bunch of M dollars. So far, I'm not doing well with the adjustment. I'm not happy that I'm getting a car, but I am getting one with no upgrades. Sorry, that's the truth. I just don't like the adjustment. And I dumped currency on my McLaren 720S GT3, but I'm way over maxing. I'm still okay with this tuning, and this race is ridiculous. I just need to finish in under 9 minutes and 45 seconds. And it's kind of a lonely race. So I'm doing the whole thing at 16 times regular speed for you guys, because there's just, I don't know, there's nothing to this for me. Wait, I almost forgot. We gotta slow down because there's a car. Oh my goodness, another car during this race. Okay, well I get to have some fun drafting and then I do something stupid. I was trying to stay really close so I could get in front of him and get a push, and I just set up a perfect pit maneuver on myself. Wow, isn't that egg on my face? Okay, well, overtake this guy nicely, and we're gonna go back into hyperdrive now. Because there is not one more thing to see. That was the one car to see in this Big, long race. So let's just do a big, I'm frustrated skid. There we go, 180. I mean, I did it in just over 9 minutes, but still. Yikes! Okay. And more upgrades are done on my McLaren. So this is going to be an engine temperature stage and need a lot more tuning before I'm allowed to enter the race. Okay, well, so far I've been avoiding the, boy, I forget what it's even called. Power unit? Yeah, I've been avoiding the power unit because they're really expensive. So I've just been maxing everything else. I did one of the power units early without really paying attention to them. And I am not looking at how to tune my car performance-wise. I'm looking for the cheapest way to get into this because I don't need any of this tuning. Okay, yay, I'm allowed to enter the race. Let's go race. A stage where your engine is overheating is just like a stage where you are low on fuel. You need to choose a manual accelerator. You need to lift off the gas early and coast and do minimal braking. That's how you get through this stage. So let off the gas early as you head to the corner, because that's where the bots are the worst. They're the worst on the corners. At this point, they might be beating us on the straights, but they are bad in the corners. So lift off early, coast for a while, and if you're slowing down too much, no problem. Just get back to the gas early and power out of the corner, and the bots will disappear very quickly. Now, drafting is, well, kind of interesting actually. Drafting here. I don't know if that's going to help or hurt my engine. In actual racing, drafting is going to cause your engine to overheat more. You NASCAR fans will know that when you're drafting too much, your engine overheats, and so guys have to peek out and allow air to get to the air ducts and get to the radiator. You just can't draft continually in NASCAR. In other types of racing, that would be different because in some types of racing you don't have big vents in the front. So that would open up some very different strategies as far as real life is concerned. This ain't real life. With these cars, I imagine dirty air is not great for them. So, there's the third place guy. No trouble passing him. And that's going to be it. Going to have 2 laps to go. And not much to look at other than the signs on the side of the road. And whatever scenery you want to look at. Ferris wheel, whatever. Overheating isn't an issue here. As long as you do what I said. Some sort of manual accelerator option. Again, we're flying at 16 times regular speed. We're hyperdriving this baby. And get you through this. As far as the costs of doing everything, I'm going to cover that as I do the last race. I will be showing you all the math and going through all of that. So I'm not going to add it at the end of this. I will do it during a race because there's going to be a long race. Let's go over backwards. Not quite what I wanted, but good enough. Again, almost a 9-minute race. And look at this. See, I was wondering, are these guys driving LMP1 cars? Why are they so drastically far ahead of me? I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't care if you have a fully tuned car and a fully tuned driver. I don't believe you're doing those times. But that's what I think. Not very realistic to me. Okay, so here we are. Last race, win. Based on what I've seen, I do not anticipate this to be a problem at all. However, is something to talk about. Tires. Okay, when you have 4 tires off track, you degrade a lot faster. In some stages, you even degrade faster with 2 tires off track. I don't think that's the case here. So, until I'm in first place, I'm keeping this thing on track. Because I've made this mistake in the past where I was taking off-track cuts and I had no tires left very early. And I still have 3 laps to go. That's a long time. Let's see. Yes, I'm going to start lap 340 right away. So this is a long race. You do not want to be doing a big portion of this race with no tires, or you do risk getting overtaken. Okay, so there's Martinez. I'm taking it easy, like I said. I'm not going to be doing my big crazy off-track cuts. Tires at 92% already, and we have not gone very far. If you need to know about braking points and things like that, that's covered in other stages. So go back and watch other stages. There's a playlist at the end of this video, so you could, if you want to see that, you could just go do that right now. Go to the end of this video, hit the playlist, and some of the other stages I get much more into depth about the braking points that I'm using and some of the off-track cuts I was doing. You could be doing off-track cuts here, but again, you do that early on and you're going to have no tires. So I would recommend keeping it on track. As I've said before, right there is not off track. And there's my first place competitor. Let's just go up and let him know that we're here. Hello, Santos. A little bit of a bump draft for you. I think I'll ride with you for a while until you have used up your usefulness, and then I'm going to dump you off somewhere. Don't necessarily want to trash my windshield here. Yeah, I better not. I'm not going to be crazy. Don't want to trash my windshield here because I've got so far to go. Now that I've got a nice lead that's going to grow, it's analysis time. Let's look at everything, including what's going to happen at the end of this race. So we will look at tuning cost and the path I took. Total earnings, that means winnings and bonuses from all races. Then the final cost of M. Driver level and cost, rewards I earned in gold, and the final cost of that. The total cost of my upgrades was just under 1.6 million M, and my path was 8185 in that order. Total earnings were just over 684,000, so my total cost was 897,200. I reached driver level 3 at a cost of 56 gold. I received 50 gold in rewards, so my final cost was 6 gold. Now, what do I think about all of this? Well, I don't like throwing away currency. I threw away, 4.5 days of M farming, and I have a car, but I don't have anything else to show for it. However, the alternative was spending 1.95 million M dollars to buy the car outright. That would get me a car with no upgrades at all, so I've saved over 1 million M by doing it this way. Now, as far as driver experience points are concerned, yes, they slightly increased the PR of my car, but it was a microscopic improvement. And it was cheap in these early level ups, but that gets very expensive. So I really don't see myself ever fully leveling up a driver if the benefit is so small going forward. But I guess we'll see how this goes. Now, I threw away a pile of M dollars to get you guys these videos fast. I would suggest that you do this event over a 4-day period so you can take full advantage of those earnings. Now, one nice thing about this last race is I finally got some traffic and finally got some cars that I could have some fun with drafting and so on. I never did go back and investigate this one spot that I talked about at the very first stage, and unfortunately, I forgot where it was. I went to look for it and I thought, you know what, I better just finish this race. Still have a nice lead. I had well over 2 kilometers at a point. Slow down, I was going to do some donuts here, and forgot about that guy, and he smacks me. So I better just end this race, get this over with. No tires left after that skidding. You can see it burns those tires up really fast. Before you ask, the answer is yes. I've already included the M dollars I'm getting at the end of this race and at the end of the event. All of it has been accounted for. I made sure to get to the very end before I added this comment over top of the race. I didn't include any of the fame calculations because they would not have affected any of the decisions I made whatsoever, but a nice bonus. And there you go. So I've got my Porsche. I honestly found this event, a lot of it, I found it quite boring. I was watching TV a bit because there was just so many long laps with nothing to do except drive a track that I've driven thousands and thousands of times by now, thousands of laps for myself at this track. This is a nice car, and it was interesting to drive so deep into the corners at Le Mans, deeper than I have driven in any car in this game. So there we go, that one's been added to the garage. That's the end of things for me. I hope you found some beneficial tips here, and you can go out and get yourself a car, whether it was the Corvette or the Aston Martin or the Porsche. I was initially going to go for the Corvette because I live in North America, but When I saw the better acceleration of the Porsche, that's what I did. Thank you for watching.